do have the best sound effect of all.
Yeah, worthwhile.
What is it? Worth the interruption?
Yeah.
How do I show it? Sounds and haptics. Oh yeah, this is my text from. Did we get that?
Ooh.
You know who this is? Do we know who that is?
No, who is that?
He was on American Idol going.
Oh,
yeah.
you just grabbed a soundbite, or?
Yeah, I took it off of one of these interviews, and I was giving him a whole lot of love on the radio, so I was just doing all kinds of stuff because he's like our adopted nephew on the show.
Totally.
Yeah, and then so it's so funny when he first got hot, or his first week before his thing started climbing, they were offering all the media outlets in Hawaii an interview. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, give me that guy. He looks like me. You know what I mean? Like, we're big brown brothers. Bring him on. We're the only outlet that took the interview.
No way.
For the first week. Yep.
Wow.
So I was like, so we started going in, and my co-host, she's very serious and very stringent. And I am the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So I told him, like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just trying to finish school. I was like, forget school, bro. You're a superstar already. And then she's trying to guide him to go to school. And I'm like, no, just forget school. School's gonna follow you. And what do you know? Kahuku gave him a diploma for being a superstar.
Wow.
Like his regular school graduated him.
Because how old is he, or how far was he?
He was a senior,
Oh.
so it was his last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
forget it.
He knew too. He's in the background, like, all right, come on, Auntie, you right, Auntie. I'll go to school. But good
He knows
kid.
what to say, but yeah.
Yeah, he's a good kid though.
That's
I love
dope.
that kid.
I love that.
Yeah.
There was a sensational story, honestly.
Oh yeah.
One of the most, electrifying stories we had over here. From the start till the end, Ian Tongi was like,
Yeah.
electrifying.
Yeah, I think it shows what the kids like, because he's of that generation.
True.
They like raw, uncut.
Yeah.
And they want it, even if he was off key or whatever, they just like the feeling.
Yeah.
Because it was honest. And I think that's what this new generation, that's why a lot of like shitty ass rappers be blowing up nowadays, like.
Right.
Because if they come out with passion,
Yeah.
then that's all that matters. They feel
Right.
it.
I think that's what it takes now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're done with all the fakeness. I mean, there's so much fake
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's like it went too far.
Way too
Yeah.
far. So suddenly you see someone that is just genuine and just plays a small guitar and just giving all his best. You're like, God damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks great. I love that.
You can't AI that.
Yeah, you can't AI that.
Right.
You
Like,
cannot
you can't
ChatGPT
AI
this.
Yeah.
So true. The one window
Yes.
Yeah.
where there's still natural things. Yeah. That's so true.
Even though they did have a great, AI, every time I get into the musical aspect of AI and ChatGPT,
Yes.
once you
crazy.
start to do songs that you like, but you choose different singers that you prefer to sing
wow.
that song,
Yeah.
this is when it starts to get really freaky. And you can't stop. And you're like, let me try Britney Spears with this song. Let me try this guy with that voice. You're like, oh shit. But if you guys are stoned, you want to have a good time, bro, try to let ChatGPT do any song you want, Busta Rhymes style. Oh, I'm telling you right now. That's shits and giggles right there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, yeah, guarantee.
I haven't tapped into it yet. Have you used ChatGPT?
I have.
You have.
ChatGPT's the ChatGPT that makes the text and the words is beast.
Beast.
That stuff is good because you go through a lot of your day with generic ass emails responding to people,
Right.
Like, and it's like, all right, let me just generate
It's like
something.
templates, basically,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But the music side is wild. It's wild. I had Barack Obama sing Pu'unui an intro for being
No
late.
way.
Yes, for being late to work.
That's dope. That's dope.
I mean, how are they going to... I don't know how the legality of that is going to develop, right? Because you can just steal someone's everything, basically.
Everything. Yeah.
Did you guys watch Black Mirror? Did you see the Black Mirror episode where she steals
I'm
her whole
not
life?
willing to go into this.
Oh, bro.
Black Mirror is
I
above
hear
my
you.
pay grade.
They
I'm
tell
not willing.
You. They tell you
it's-
everything, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean...
It's intense. And also, I don't know. I mean...
The actor strike is from Black Mirror. The exact idea, yeah. Part of the idea was them being able to use likenesses and not actual
right.
actual actors in films. And that was actually like the second episode.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
It's like
I didn't even think of that. But yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. That's intense for me. When I watch that, I don't know. It's something. Negative energy is just filling up my body when I watch that.
Well, that's.
If it feels that way, then yeah.
That's why I said nah.
I wouldn't.
Nah.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
It's satanic, bro. Straight up, like.
Well, it's spells.
Yeah.
Because you can socially engineer anything. So if they can get you to watch it and you think it's entertainment, then it's going to go right into your subconscious. And then when it actually happens, you're going to be like, oh, that's normal.
Yes. Yes.
And then you're like, no, actually, we programmed you to be this is really fucked up.
We told you.
Word.
Gotcha, bitch.
Word. You heard it here first. You beware.
Yeah.
No, guaranteed. That's why I don't want to get into this.
You got to trust your feelings. If it's saying don't, then don't.
Yeah.
That means it could slip into your subconscious. If you can keep it conscious.
Also, as a parent, when do I get to watch TV?
Right.
Before I go to sleep, right? So I don't want to leave my day with that bad energy
and take
then
it. No.
No. I don't want to.
Seal it in there? No way.
Now when I go to sleep and I want to watch something, I just watch a good stand-up, or I watch George Carlin, or I watch someone, and I'm just like,
right, perfect. Laugh me to sleep.
Laugh me to sleep,
a laughing lullaby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried both ways, and I take laughing every day of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm done with this. By the way, we already started and we're going and we're rolling, but let me make a quick introduction. She's a local and international R&B reggae singer and songwriter. She toured as a backup singer for the artists Pink, Dave Hollister, Chaka Khan, and many, many others. Her single, It Is What It Is, featuring Fiji and My Love, have both charted at the #1 on the Hawaiian reggae charts. She is the descendant of the Love's Bakery. Yes, you heard it here first.
Yes.
Round of applause. Irie Love.
Hey.
Yes.
Let's go.
Thank you. Mahalo nui. Wonderful introduction.
So glad to have you here. This is such a great honor. You here on the island just on vacation or just for business? Or?
Yeah, no, it's kind of always a little bit of both every time I travel. But my grandmother just had her 3rd hip surgery and my mom lives in Northern California.
30?
3rd.
Oh, 3rd. I'm like 30. Oh, God
30?
damn. Girl.
Put down the knife.
Yeah. Hip 30 times. God
no.
Okay,
yeah,
3rd
hip
time.
surgery.
Okay.
And she and I are really close. And my mom was here to help her because she's an RN. Long story short, I was on Big Island doing the 808 Day Festival. And I was just like, I got to hop over. I'm too close to not go home and see Grandma and my mom. So came home. But of course, when I'm here, I'm going to get some work in too. So both. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so sorry that you had to come on such a rough week, and it's been definitely it took a huge toll on all of us that last week. I was just talking to Brett, our producer, before you guys came, that never ever did something happen to us that didn't happen to us but happened to us and took us so. I mean, it's so hard and so tough to think about it and to talk about it. And I personally haven't been there. I mean, last time I was there was like a month ago, and we were supposed to take a big store over there to open a new gallery over there. It was supposed to be across from the banyan tree. It was a 3,500 square foot space.
Oh my goodness!
Literally Lahaina.
Yeah. Wow. It was on Front Street, and for some crazy reason, the week before we were supposed to get it signed, and they said, we're giving you a counter to give us 2 more days, 48 hours, 24 hours, and then they said we decided to go with someone else.
Wow.
And I'm like, I was pretty stunned because it was open it's empty for the past 3 years or almost like that. Yeah. And they were begging us to go there because they saw the concept on Kalakaua and they said it's going to do good because of the combination of gallery and music and performance, because everything over there is like either or, either gallery or a restaurant. So they thought that the concept would do great, and we flew out there, and I love the place and I love the energy, and to see it like that, just even not being there was such a tough, thing to deal with.
Yeah. It's really heavy.
It is heavy. You were here when it happened.
I was on the Big Island.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, with my friend from Maui, who's my cultural advisor.
Oh my God, really?
So that was pretty nuts. And her brother was supposed to do a photo shoot for me. He's a professional surf photographer. And he had just flown home, and so he was on Maui. And they live up near Kula side, so the fire's right there. Their father is a retired fireman. So shout out to the Spencer family. They're such a beautiful, beautiful family with the most magnificent hearts and showing up for the culture and just the community. They have really been an example to me. They always take me in. You know, you always go stay with your friends when you go outer island, right? So, and they're always the place that I go and stay. So I made a really special relationship with Maui. And I literally was just also there a month ago and driving around. And Kaliko had to come to Oahu for a baby luau while I was there. So she's like, use my truck. And she has this epic old Toyota Tacoma, which we all know is the fucking Bentley of Hawaii.
Yes.
So I'm driving her Tacoma around, and I'm just venturing, and I'm just so into like connecting with nature, obviously. So I go to Iao Valley and I meditate, and I was just thinking, like, I'm ready to move home soon, and I just want to know, like, where I'm supposed to be, where my energy is needed, because I've given so much to Oahu, and this will always be my home. But, you know, we have other beautiful islands that have so many other different aspects. So I was driving it around, and I was like, maybe I want to move to Maui. I've never considered this before. And I just really was having this special time with the land that I've never really had, a communion with the land and the energy of the space. And now I have a deeper understanding of what that time was for me to pour my energy and my intention and my love into that land just before something so catastrophic and so devastating was about to happen, you know, without me knowing, of course. But I just believe that everything is intentional and everything has purpose if we can choose to look at it that way. And that's how I've been living my life for the past, I want to say 6 years, like really consistently. I've had, you know, windows of it being Hawaiian in our culture. That's kind of how we roll. But to consistently...
It is what it is.
It is what it is, my love. Thank you for that plug. Yeah, so, you know, it's just been... It's been really, really powerful for me to have this perspective at this time, and then to be brought home now again at this time on this week, that event happened on the Lion's Gate. If people are familiar with that, that's a portal of energy on that day. So there's just so many different layers and aspects to what's going on, you know, but I think all of us can just across the board kind of say it's a heavy time. It's a heavy, heavy time for everybody.
Heavy time.
Yeah.
And also, you know, it's always so confusing. You know, all the conspiracy theories come up, and all the stories, and they didn't do this, and blaming and finger pointing, and you're trying to stay objective, and you're trying to channel all your energy to the positivity, and let's not deal with the negativity. Let's deal with the negativity later. Let's talk about it later. And I understand that approach completely, but at the same time, I'm angry.
Absolutely.
I'm angry, and and it pisses me off that more and more people try to just cut corners. Just like, nah, whatever, don't worry, like, instead of doing it 100%. But if you always cut corners, you'll end up walking in circles.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't want to blame anyone for something so you know, bad that happened, you know, by the end of the day. But there are so many things that didn't work right. There's so many things that should have been done. There's so many, like, I just can't get it that they didn't use the siren.
Yeah.
Every fucking Monday, first Monday out of months,
Right.
in the radio, and the new, everywhere.
TVs and all.
The one time we needed it.
Yeah. Bruh, a fucking text message.
Text message!
You know what I mean? Like, we got text of a fake missile, and we couldn't get text of a real fire. Like, real easy. I don't know what the complication is with doing it, but it's obviously not that complicated if we got a dumbass that can do it. I'm sorry for...
Sorry.
But they can do it prior
accident.
to an accident.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
you know, for this, to me, and watching how it all is unfolding, everybody's going where they're supposed to be. You know, there's people that are good at empathy and good at love and good at healing, and that's why they're rushing there. You know, and a lot boots on the ground, plenty Hawaiians going just out of love for the people, period. And then there's people who are warriors, people who like just fucking scrap. And that's where the anger comes from. So let those guys do what they got to do on the outside, keep the people accountable, and make sure they don't go running away without a little bit of accountability for what happened. Don't let it fade, you know what I mean? And just let everybody do what they're doing, you know? What their job is.
Yeah.
You know, I like go so bad if I didn't have a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
like
100%.
Well, maybe too, if I can offer a different perspective, because I feel like there's been a lot of discussion about what went wrong. But if we can come from a higher mind and really look at the whole thing, from my vantage point, this is intentional. It's obvious that it was an intentional thing. It's obvious that they didn't fire the sirens intentionally. It was literally 7 days after they did the practice on the 1st. Mm-hmm. Everything that was done intentionally, and I've been looking for the right platform to really speak my truth, because I feel like it's a lot of people's truth, especially people who are there, who experienced it, and who are now sharing their stories, talking about the loud booms that they heard. There's a lot of people who have those Ring cameras all over their houses, right? Intentional that they shut off the power just before it went on so that nobody could have any footage of what really happened. You know, like in the age of, like you said, our phones, everybody has a phone. Everybody's recording everything all the time. Mm-hmm. There's no way that something is not going to get caught unless it's set up with precision and intention. So if we can come from that perspective and we can stop talking about what went wrong and what didn't work and how, because it is ludicrous and it is, there's no way to explain it, right? Everyone's like, I don't understand how I understand. I understand what time we're in, and I understand exactly what a sacred space that is in Lahaina, the original capital of Hawaii when Kamehameha still had this as a kingdom. Mm-hmm. It moved to Honolulu when commerce came in, but it was the original capital. It is a pico of energy, and it is a place where Native Hawaiians have been holding the line and not wanting to sell their land. Mm-hmm. And it is prime real estate. So from my vantage point, it's intentional. And so now I'm all about being solution-based. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do? So far, the way that we have showed up is fucking beautiful. Mm-hmm. And it gives me chicken skin every time I talk about it, because they fucked with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Hawaiians and the diaspora and just the community of people who live here and love this Aina are so heart-led that we will show up in droves. Like people were jumping on their personal boats and like taking what they could from their 5 friends to go, and then they stopped them at the docks. I mean, there is a guy who's like an ancient local elder guy that like sells his, I forget what his name is, but he has a video now finally where he's saying his testimony, and he's talking about how he walked to the end where, you know, the famous scene everyone's pushing with the cars, and they all blew up, right? Yeah. They're all burnt in a line. There was a cop there who was stopping them from leaving, and he's walking out and he's telling the people, get out of your car. This isn't regular traffic. They're not letting you out. He talked to the cop with his own mouth, and the cop said, I'm just following orders. I was told not to let anyone out.
Bruh.
So these types of things are going to continue to come out because we are in the age of information, and it is time for revolution. And Hawaii is the place. Because this land has, as we know, even if you're not even aware of spirituality at all, something happens to you here. Mm-hmm. And you can't explain it. And it's energy. And it's a spiritual connection to what I believe is outside of this realm. And it's a power, a mana that's here that cannot be stifled. It cannot be put out. It cannot be suppressed. It's always been present, even with all that has happened in the history of this place. Mm-hmm. And so now they've given us a catalyst. What are we going to do? It's time for us to not only show up with the supplies, but to start organizing so that the Kanaka Maoli and the elders, the kupuna, the kumus, all of them come together and figure out a plan, because they've been fighting for sovereignty. They showed up in Mauna Kea, which is still an ongoing thing, right? Mm-hmm. But we showed them, and they think they got a little scared. They were like, oh, these people will organize. If we push too hard, they're serious about protecting their land. This isn't a joke. This isn't about wealth. This isn't about anything, not even about ownership, right? Because that's not even an indigenous practice.
The opposite, it's about simplicity.
Yeah, it's about stewardship. It's about relationship with the land. The land gives to us, we give back to the land, and we take care, we malama her. So I think this is a beautiful time to be alive, because as much as it's so tragic and there's so much trauma and so much devastation that we will have to deal with, this is also like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's go time. So I want to give a call to action to especially people of my generation, right? Like, it's time for us to rise up in a way that our parents couldn't, that our grandparents couldn't. You know, we have these tools now with technology where we have an extension of consciousness and communication that we've never had before. Let's utilize that. Keep sharing your mana'o, keep sharing your stories, keep sharing everything you possibly can, because in the words, like we said, words are spells. That's why it's called spelling.
Yeah.
So choose your words wisely and move with intention, and we will shift this. This is the time.
Yeah.
Amen.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a moment for Bang. You know what I mean? Like when it came down to it, because Mauna Kea never came to that.
Right.
It never came.
was
Kapu
almost.
Aloha was a thing,
Yeah.
right? It was like, okay, you don't go there.
Right.
This is the rules. The
Right.
Kapuna said it. Don't inflict any kind of this kind of energy. We're
Yeah.
going to keep it Kapu Aloha.
Right.
Hence why, but Bradas was getting pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bradas got so pissed they built their own house on the side and be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that energy, it's simmering with a lot of us, right? Pain turns into anger.
Yes.
We like fight back.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, everyone can play a role. You know, I think
Yeah.
there's place for warriors. There's place for, you know, the kupuna. There's place for, you know, people who are intellectual that can figure things out. Like, I saw another video of this guy. I wish I remembered names of things so I could give people credit, but he was saying that there's these two companies that are based on Maui, and they have like these generators that give free Wi-Fi, and they're like docking stations where you can like charge your phones and stuff. And they brought in the generators because they were like trying to block people from getting their power turned back on. And then FEMA came and tried to put their fucking stickers on it. I was like, it's giving desperate, it's giving pathetic, it's giving you're telling on yourself.
I heard one thing that I heard that I was very happy about, that, you know, by the time anybody came there, the locals had it in control.
No, they run it
Oh
already.
my God.
Run him already.
the best.
Yeah.
The best.
I was so proud. I want to belong to this kind of people,
Right.
the people of community.
Yes.
I want to belong to those people that represent Aloha and share Aloha.
Yes.
That put their money where their mouth is, they put their work where their mouth is, they actually go out and do it with boats and flight. Shout out to Garrett Marrero, the owner and CEO of Maui Brewing Company, who uses every day his airplane to bring food. And if you guys follow this guy, the way he does things and with the community that he is bringing is like
He's showing
unbelievable. They taken out all the refrigerators, all the freezers, everything. All their staff, like 64 people staff, just went out to do work together in jeeps. And
Yeah.
this is a community I want to belong to.
Absolutely.
And this is what is another beautiful thing about it with, you know, the whole thing based off Hawaiians, right? Hawaii is Hawaiians, period. Hands down, right?
Yeah.
Kanaka Maoli took care of the land. They continue to perpetuate Aloha. And it has infectiously grew to other people that have come here. Like you said, there's a spirit and energy that you just can't help to fall in love with.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to see that. You're not just seeing Kanaks out there
Right.
putting in the work. A lot of the videos is Holly guys like, yeah, bro, we got this, boys. We in it.
Yeah,
we in
yeah,
it together. You know what I mean? Like everybody's feeling it. Everybody's in the hui. Like,
yeah, exactly.
and that's a beautiful thing to see. You know what I mean? Like, for brother using his plane, he's like, bro, I'm in it. I'm in it. I got this.
Period.
I got a plane. I'm going to use it. You know,
Right.
nobody's just pulling back. Everybody's
No.
putting in.
Yeah, showing up. We show up for each other.
I love it.
And the whole world will shift. And the beautiful thing, too, about Hawaii being so popularized worldwide is everyone's eyes are on us right now. And how are we moving? What's going to happen? Like, I'm watching so many different YouTube channels from all over the world. Everyone is talking about it. So it's in the collective consciousness. And then also, let's think about the 100th monkey effect.
What is the 100th monkey?
Ooh.
What? I'm the second monkey right now as we speak. So come on, what's going on?
Yeah, it's basically a study that was done where it's a long story, but they basically realized that there was some sort of connection between the monkeys, right? They were on different lands. So like on totally different islands, one monkey would figure something out. He would teach his community. And then somehow within, I don't know if it was immediate or whenever they were watching the other monkeys started doing the same thing without ever having contact with the other monkeys on the other island. So there's a connection, synergistic collective consciousness where when enough of us learn something and decide this is the thing, then it ripple effects without even having to say it or show it. So I feel like that's what this is. Mauna Kea like kind of started it.
Yeah.
And it's still going, right? I mean, as much as it's not media coverage, but it's still, the energy is there. And now it's all buzz.
Well, what I ask myself, and again, me coming from the business side, from when Jeff Bezos says, I donate $100 million, to who?
Yeah, where?
Where is it?
Where's it going?
Are you getting to the families, or are you getting it to the hotels,
developers?
the developers? Like, who is it getting it? Is it getting a new Amazon sorting facility on Maui? Like, who is getting that money? All right, okay, that's one.
Yeah.
Two, when Biden today approved $40 billion to Ukraine. Okay, today, as far as I heard, they're going to give like 30-40 million, yeah. Now again, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I'm not good at math. I don't know.
He's piggybacking. He's using our tragedy to piggyback money from Congress for their war in whatever the fuck they're doing in Ukraine. I don't know what they're doing. None of my business. They're doing it wrong, whatever they're doing, because money's going, people dying.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's sad. That's so sad. But that's...
Did you see how he tied it together?
Yeah.
He put them together, but he only going to give us like small kind kick.
Yeah, compared to what he's giving to Ukraine. Like, okay, I'll give this much to Hawaii if you give me this much for Ukraine. Congress, either you hate Hawaii and not give up the money.
Yeah.
Or you pay for all of it. And it's sad. But that's the American style, right? That's the United States capitalistic style, period. That's not what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thank you for telling on yourself is how I look at it.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing us so blatantly what your intentions are and where your priorities are. So
100%.
our priorities have to be us because there are more of us, like abundantly more of us.
So let me ask you this, following up, Green was just saying that the rehabilitation will take a long time and, they need to, it will take a long time and yada, 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 and they're going to do a moratorium and blah, 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 blah. By the end of the day, what they're trying to do, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just my opinion, I don't know, right? They're just trying to stretch the people for so long, right? And then in the meantime, they still got to pay property tax, maybe mortgages and stuff like that. So those people would basically... Yeah, they're not going to get scared out of there, but they would kind of priced out of there because they would be like, oh, yeah, it's going to take 3 years. In the meantime, they got to pay. After those 3 years, those people not going to have that money. They're just going to sell it. They're going to sell it. Developer will come and we're back to square one.
Well, long game. But, again, people are organizing.
They wanted to do the short game, but everybody's like, oh, what's going to be?
Already,
So, okay, we're going to go to the long game.
Right.
We're going to go to the long game.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
But local people are smart. You know what I mean? Like we have nonprofits that are looking at the exact same long game. So if they do sell to somebody who cares. You have local nonprofits that are willing to do it. Anybody but them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's so many solutions that can be had, and I think that it's really just, again, having the discussions, making sure that the discussions are being had and people are coming together and putting their minds together because, like you said, there's so many intelligent people in the community that want this place to thrive, that want Kanaka Maoli to have their birthright, which is to be the stewards of this land. Like I was saying to my friends, I'm from Kailua, and we've become Kailua-fornia is what we call it now.
Yeah.
And it's just... It's not necessarily that it's different people, like you were saying, Chris, right? But it's the spirit, it's the energy. They're trying to bring this California vibe, and there's like people are honking their horns more. And as we know, you don't fucking do that in Hawaii, unless it's like an emergency or you're like, how's it? So it's an energy, and I feel like there's a lot of discussions.
This is so true about the honking. This is so true about the honking. Oh my
exactly.
God.
It's almost kapu, bro. You cannot So, it's, you can see the signs of the energy shifting. And I was just saying, every time I walk the bay, I walk Kailua Bay almost every rising when I'm home. And I just look at those homes and they're always empty. They're always empty. And I'm like, I have this vision of like it being all these local people that have these homes, and they would be like in the yard saying aloha, kani kapila, their kids running around, like just that energy of love and aloha and family. And I continue to hold that vision. I won't let it go until the day that I die, because I truly believe that our imagination, that we are cultivating and creating our reality collectively. Mm-hmm. So if we can collectively have this vision of what Hawaii, it was intended to be and what it can be, if we come together and imagine that and hold that space together, I believe that will happen, and that your little Irie will be the Irie that gets to really experience that, you know? My nieces and nephews will get to experience the real, true Hawaii on a grand scale, where it's like, I think of Wakanda, too. Like, Wakanda is such a great example, right? Of like a thriving indigenous space, and just people, still the technology and all the advancements and stuff, but we can do it in a beautiful way where we come together and we uplift each other and we love on the land. And it doesn't come down to just the freaking dollar, which, another side note, I mean, I could go on about this stuff forever, but we should also talk about my music career. Because music is the healing of the nation. It's the only thing that taps into both sides of the brain simultaneously. So it's one of the most powerful weapons that we have. And like everything, it can be used for good or bad. Mm-hmm. What is your intention? What do you choose? And it's not just intention, but it's the impact. Right? When I did my yoga training, we learned so much about how people have these intentions. But what is your actual impact? You need to focus more on that, because you can intend to show up in a certain way. But if a lot of us are still processing and decolonizing our minds, and I'm talking everybody, then sometimes you might say something that was harmful. And so you look at the impact, and then you can make adjustments in the way that you move. But we can't just say, oh, we intend to do this, like we intend to take it back. It's like, no, what are we going to do? How can we have a genuine impact that's going to be lasting, so that the future generations can actually live in this blissful, beautiful, harmonious world?
And I wish that would be easy and doable.
Yeah. I mean, I believe nothing in this life is easy. We come here for the contrast. We come here for the struggle, because just like the butterfly in its cocoon, if you help the butterfly or the caterpillar come out of its cocoon, then it will die and it will never fly. It has to go through the struggle. It has to break out on its own. And then the wings come out and it flies, and it's this beautiful story, right? So we can't always negate the struggle. I think that's a part of it. But at the same time, like, there are people who definitely have malicious intent, and they're self-serving, and they just want to take. And they think that they can just continue to manipulate and take. And it's not necessary. We have more than enough for everyone to thrive everywhere, literally. So if there are such things as billionaires, they keep telling on themselves, as I always say. Like, if there are billionaires, then there's more than enough for everybody.
Absolutely.
Period. And I'm talking worldwide. It's not just Hawaii. Although we can be a catalyst, we're here. This is our home. But this is, speaking to everybody in the world. We can all come together in this way. We can all decide that we want everyone to just at least have the basic necessities, right? And I mean, you've lived in many places, so you've seen all the different ways that people can live.
And you know what? It's crazy to me, because when you talk about Hawaii, you talk so passionately. You talk like you're so connected, and you love it that much, and I can feel it from you.
Yeah.
Yet you live in LA. I'm just saying.
Actually, update.
Okay.
I don't live anywhere. Okay, I live
Nomad's land.
I'm a nomad by my bloodlines. I'm the descendant of my ancestors. I have
So you're a
much.
voyager.
Yes. I'm a voyager. I'm a nomad. I mean, I always have been. Shout out to my grandma, Linda, who, was a travel agent when I was a young girl. My mom was 17 when she had me, so they both raised me. And she used to take me everywhere. And then she used to take my family everywhere as we grew up. And so I've been traveling my whole life. And so, as you know, it's like you get so much more perspective when you go and experience another way of living, right?
Yeah.
It changes you, and that impact lasts forever. I talk about like the lens, right? Everyone has their own individual lens, and your lens gets distorted, if you will, by your different experiences. So each person is literally, when I look at someone, I am the only one who is going to see them in this specific way. So you each will only see me in your specific lens that's going to be a little bit different. And so that's the beauty of us being able to share space and share food and share time and experience with each other, is it adjusts our lens a little bit. And I feel like each time you leave where you come from, you expand, you expand, you expand, you expand.
So is the reason that you live over there more like business related, or?
I have family in California.
Okay.
So I've been going and staying in California a lot of my life. I went to college in California too, and I really feel like the world is my home. You know, I recently spent a month in Mexico and did some plant medicine ceremonies with a friend of mine who's...
When you say plant medicine, are we talking peyote and San Pedro?
We're talking about bufo and yahe.
Oh, let's go.
What is
Yeah,
this?
so
I don't know, but
To me,
it sounds wow.
Yeah.
Bufo is a frog medicine.
Ooh, I heard about it. God damn.
Oh,
There's two different ones, or
Ooh, she
as far
brave.
as I know.
I hate
but
frogs.
She brave.
You
right?
do?
I'm terrified of
Oh my
frogs.
gosh.
Did you lick the frog?
Ew, no. Wow.
Wait.
Somebody else licked it for me and spit in my mouth.
No, shit.
Oh my gosh, if my friends are listening to this, I'm such a hypochondriac, there's no fucking way I would do that. But
No, wait,
but
wait.
that
Back
is
to the
what it
frog.
is.
You don't lick it though, right? You
but
let
they extract the...
you extract,
it's
you let
like
it
the
dry.
jelly from their
the
back.
jelly from their back. Then you let it
It
dry.
crystallizes and you smoke it.
And then you smoke it. Oh, we should
But
put on the show.
it's like a whole ceremony. You do it with a shaman. It's a very spiritual, ritual practice, and you're guided through the whole experience. Because I did it for healing. I'm just, I have no children by choice. I don't have a partner right now. I don't have a home. I just got rid of my car too. I'm just like in this stage of just like, I don't know, it's just like my Christ consciousness era where I'm just like, get rid of everything. I literally got rid of most of my worldly possessions. I have my whole life is in 2 suitcases, and I'm just like preparing myself to be ready to show up wherever I'm needed. So I'm,
Maui is definitely a place that could need a lot of love and a lot of repairing.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like you being there right before it happens, and I'm not sure or knowing what visions you had when you were up in Niao and your feelings or whatever, but I mean, I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, right? Like knowing how well you are with speaking with people, being patient, giving good vibrations, and the many ways you communicate with them via just speech or even through yoga practices and whatnot. I mean, that is one of the big central hubs for yoga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of healing that's needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to show up for that. Absolutely. I'm just literally moving by intuition at this point. Like even down to the micro decisions in my life. Like if I'm going to drink this water and then some whisper in my head says, don't take a sip right now, then I don't take a sip right now. And if it says, drink your water, bitch, then I drink my water, bitch. Like, literally down to those. Like, oh, I'm going to go to the store because I feel like, no, you don't go to the store right now. Okay, turn around, go back home. Like, I'm literally just being guided. And it's because I'm deep in meditation every day. I connect with nature every day. I've cleansed my body of all chemicals. I stopped drinking alcohol. I only commune with plant medicines that are pure and intentional. I'm not a partier girl anymore. I mean, I definitely had my day. I'm from Kailua, you know what I'm saying? But, it's important too to, I think, experience those things because then I can have empathy and I can be around people and not be coming from a place of judgment. Everyone has their own journey, and what they choose to do on their journey is none of my business, right? Mm-hmm. So, for me, I just feel called to be on this mission, and music is a modality that I was given as when I came in from my bloodlines, and so I'm just expanding on that now. And I think the last 5 years, I moved away in 2017 because of a divorce that just like shattered my whole world, and I was like getting momentum in my career at that time where I was like, okay, this is it. Like I'm really about to be super successful, and then it said, not yet, bitch. You got to go do some healing. So I went in and I just have been empowering myself over the last 5 years.
So how long ago did you separate it?
2017, October 2017.
And then you immediately moved to LA?
Yeah, I moved to actually the Pacific Northwest. A lot of my family's also from Seattle. My best friend was from Portland. So I went to Portland and I was teaching spin and I did yoga training and just like dove into like the athletic side of my bloodline. Yeah. And I just, have been on this journey.
And there was a local brother?
Who?
Your
No. I imported because, as you know, we are both travelers. And
where did you import from?
I imported him from London.
From London?
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Indeed.
Quite posh.
Indeed.
Me too, that's why.
Oh, yeah, Kia.
Kia's from England, yeah.
Her last name is London.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No, well, I mean.
Well, kind of small thing. It's complicated.
But yeah.
Yeah. I was living in London for 3 years after we met, and that was a beautiful experience. But I'm actually going to be going back to Europe next month because my whole new mission is to just be of a world sound, and I'm working with Warren Wyatt, whose company was called World Sound, and I operate purely on synchronicities at this point. So if I see something that aligns or that is like a totem of something, then I know that I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on at this time because I am choosing my highest timeline with my intention. So I'm going to be going to Paris and working with Boston Bim. They're the guys that produced like my song Let It Fly with Peter Morgan, and I've just been working with them for years, and they're these two amazing brothers who are French and just love reggae, and I'm going to make a whole album with them next month.
Cool.
So are you going to do another reggae album?
I'm going to do a reggae album. Yeah. I've kind of been going back and forth because I've been so transitional about like who I am as a person, and I want the expression of my music to be aligned with that. And so it's been difficult because I'm not just a reggae artist, although many people know me just from that. And so I've been dabbling in like Afrobeat and a more soulful R&B and just pop and all kinds of music because I just love music. But ultimately what I've decided is, because I had that momentum and I kind of just like dipped out, I want to step back in, and I'm working with my new team to establish myself as the, the biggest female reggae artist from Hawaii worldwide. And so that's going to take some work, and I need to come back and create an album that speaks that, and I'm going to be doing some shows and showcases in Amsterdam and Berlin, and then I'm going to be in the UK for a while doing a bunch of shows and recording and collaborating with different international artists, some in Germany, some in the UK, some in Paris, and just really bringing that spirit of Aloha, right, everywhere that I go, and really bringing this whole movement that I'm trying to start, that I'm going to need help with, and bring in a collection of people to really make the Aloha spirit a worldwide thing. And I think that music is the modality that I've been given that can transcend language. As we were speaking before we really started, language to me is portals and frequencies, and we can listen to a song in a language we don't understand, and it can move us to tears, and you're like, I don't even know what they're saying, but I guess it's probably something deep. But our souls speak every language. There is no limitation. We are infinite beings who have access to everything. We're only limited by our conscious mind and by these dense bodies so that we can be in this reality and be in the grit of it all and the grind and the contrast so that we can be more expanded. But in order to come down into these bodies and these lives, we have to basically be stifled and shrunk from what we truly are. But that essence is always there. And so music is the weapon, which is why it's been weaponized. You think about popular music. How many times is it teaching people to just like compromise their bodies, compromise their values?
It's fucking demonic.
Yeah.
Like some of the, like you look at now especially, it's bad. Like music videos are getting very satanic.
Like blatantly now. They're
it's
not
obscene.
even trying to,
It's obscene. But why? Why? Well, is that cool now?
It's cool because they make it cool. You know what I mean? You have enough outlets and influence to do so. Like if you own 70 or 80% of all the media outlets, whether it be television, internet, radio, etc., you put out anything enough times, it's cool. It is what it is. That's what everybody's doing. And what they've been putting out has been crazy. It's been dark.
Yeah.
You don't see joyful music out there anymore. A lot of the music that I hear on the radio station, one of the radio stations I'm on, it's all like almost like minor keys, and everything's very like monotone and gloomish. There's no like church choir joyous music anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Right.
And that's the stuff that like they probably don't want. They don't want you to feel joy and
Well,
excitement.
it's all about frequency.
Who are they?
They, you know, the satanic globalists. I mean, come on. Do I really have to spell it out? We all know. You know?
Yeah, the big bad wolf.
And that's the thing, right? Anyway.
The people who profit from people being dumbed down and keeping their frequency low. I mean, we are more malleable, more susceptible to manipulation when we are in lower frequencies, lower vibrations, and everything is vibration. I mean, even from a scientific-based perspective, everything is energy in motion. Yeah. And so when you talk about music being like those monotones and like, I know people might not love Kanye, but Kanye spits a lot of wisdom, and he's talking about the 808s and how the 808 frequency, which is like, I love 808s because it like bumps in your soul, right? Yeah. But it's a low frequency that activates and keeps your focus in your lower chakras, and your lower chakras are the survival chakras. It's our sex organs and like creation, but mostly survival energy. So they want to keep us in desperation, in survival mode, in anxiety, because then they can program us easier. When you're in a higher vibration, I mean, I'm sure everyone has had at least one experience where you're like, you forget what time it is, and you're like, oh my gosh, it went by so fast. And it's because you were on a higher frequency that you literally leave time and space.
I think the best example is when they put a fear of COVID-19, everybody did everything. Oh, mask, let's put it on. Oh, stand in line. Oh, 6 feet away, 6 feet away. Oh, not meet my friends. Okay, no problem. Right. Oh, not be with anybody. Oh, yeah, whatever.
How
not go
obedient.
to work. Yeah, whatever.
Yes.
But now, go talk to people and ask them, yo, would you do it again? I guarantee you that 85%, if not 90%, would say no, heck no.
Yeah.
Heck no. No way.
Which is dope,
I've
right?
been there. I was afraid.
Right.
That's why I did it. But now I see that it wasn't like they said. So now I want to think twice to do it again.
Right. Like their mind has been a little bit more opened, right? It's cracked
100%.
their reality a little bit so they can actually do their own check and assessment and be like, wow, I've spoken to many friends and many family members who are just like, I didn't realize I was so easily believing in these systems and believing that these government has our good intentions, or that I would be so fearful and dive into that fear so easily.
I'm ashamed to say it, but I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that I took the jab.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are.
I'm such a strong person on the day to day. I wouldn't take shit from anybody.
Right.
And suddenly they tell me, and I stand in line like a fucking pussy, stand in line like there's no tomorrow. Like, but on the other hand, I say, well, you were afraid, you didn't know. You know, my parents, take it. We don't want you to die. You're asthmatic. You have to take it. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm asthmatic. Maybe I should take it.
Yeah.
Even when I got it, it was cruise. Before I got the vaccine, I'm talking about. I got it. It was cruise. But they said no. But the next time, but now it's crazier. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the flu. Maybe it was this. Now you have to take it. So the brainwash and that fear, I'm kind of ashamed that it worked on me that well.
They pinned. Don't be, because they pin your people against you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't have to answer to some jackass in a suit, but I do have to answer to my other half. I do have to answer to my family and to her family.
And that's a lot of people, right?
And that's a lot of people who I care about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the shitty part. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, well, for you, I will. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the hard part. They pinned everybody, your own people, against you.
They were saying, you're going to kill your grandma if you're not going to do it.
You don't want to be that guy.
Right.
You know, and you don't want them to look at you like that guy.
Yeah, we all have to give each other grace, because I think it was a time of, we were at war. I mean, we still are, and it's still showing itself, but they're taking a lot of different tactics to try and manipulate us, to try and scare us, to try to push us in a corner, to separate us from each other. If you think about the 6 feet thing, which I thought was so hilarious to me, because 6 feet is actually right around the range of when you would touch someone's aura. And so they wanted our energetic fields to not even touch. Because when you get close enough to someone, you can kind of have a little bit of empathy. You'll kind of feel what they're feeling. Like, are you all right, bro? Like, it kind of feels like, you know, or especially if you hug someone. Are you kidding me? You're like instantly connected and you feel everything that person is feeling, even if it's just for a moment, to where you're like, oh, maybe I should hug them a little longer. I don't know why, but I feel like they need it. Like, you know immediately, right? That's in all of us. So when they separated us 6 feet, they literally put us in these little bubbles, like that movie WALL-E. Do you guys remember that Disney movie WALL-E?
Never watched it.
They were like these little floating blobs, and you just like, everyone has no one has bones anymore, and all these hovercrafts, and they only look at each other through screens, and like the screens dropped one time, and they like actually looked eye to eye with another person, and they freaked out, and the whole ship goes crazy, and it's like this whole thing. And I'm like, that's exactly another predictive programming that they're showing us, like how important it is for us to stay connected so that we can know what's going on and we can empower each other. When you're weak, I'm strong. When I'm strong, you're weak. Like, back and forth. We don't always have to be strong all the time. Let's give ourselves grace.
That's so powerful.
You know?
If I would know that someone would fight for me, I could let go a little.
Right.
If I would know that someone fight for me.
Exactly. That's why they had to separate us the way that they did, because they knew that. They know it's giving creative. The way that they manipulate us is very creative. It's strategic. It's planned out. They're patient with it. They take every account of how to line it up to make sure that a lot of people will fall. And I think now, the more, like you said, the more that we do it, we build this muscle now to where we're like, wait a minute. Not again, not me, not again. And then now, not my community, not again. And now I share my story, and then now the whole, state, world, not again, right? All of us are like, something is up. I don't know what it is, but I want to choose for me. So I'm not going to just obey anyone anymore. And that is like the main message that I try to preach with my music, with my conversation, everywhere that I go. Is like, when people ask me questions about certain things, the most important thing is for us to encourage each other to be empowered into your na'au, your inner voice, your ancestors, God, your Holy Spirit, whatever reference point you want to put. Tuning into that inner voice, because it's always there and it always wants to help you, but it will always be at your beck and call. So if you decide, I'm fearful, so I'm going to listen to that person because it seems like that's more important because they're louder. The inner voice is the whisper. It's a gentle, kind, loving, probably not a good idea to do that, but do as you will, right? If you can start to only listen to that, magic happens. Magic happens, and no one can take advantage of you. It doesn't matter if it's your family, your friends, because you're going to be operating from a heart space to where even if there is a conflict, it's not going to be a conflict of your ego and their ego. It's going to be your heart holding space for them to take time to tap back into their heart. And that's been my experience, where I am the black sheep. I am the crazy one. I've always been that person in my life. And so when these things have come up, it's been easier for me because I've been in practice of being pushed out and shunned and called crazy. I'm used to that. I've been rejected from American Idol, X Factor, The Voice. I've been on all these shows. I was just talking to my mom in Lanikai, Ka'ohao Ocean yesterday. And she was just saying the amount of rejection that you've experienced in your lifetime, Irie, I can't think about it as your mom because it's too devastating for me that it's like overwhelming pain, right? I'm not a mother, but the way that I've heard it explained from parents is like when you have a kid, like your heart is now outside of you, right? And so you're like, you want to protect it, and your mind works differently, your everything works differently now, right? So I don't have that, but I can understand it. I can perceive what that would possibly be like to want to just protect, the ones that you love. And I think that a lot of that anger and that angst that came from a lot of people was just coming from love, where we're scared because we love you so much, right? We don't want to lose each other. We don't want to be the reason that we cause somebody to have loss. But at the same time, holding the line and just standing in your heart space and just following that intuition is always going to permeate and be stronger than the frequency of fear. but it's being able to know that. And so we talk about it. I'm saying it with my words. And so now I'm casting this spell on everyone who's listening to this, that love is a stronger frequency than fear. And so although it feels less powerful because it's not as loud, it's not as aggressive, it doesn't need to be, because it is. It is all that is. It is the essence of everything. It is the foundation that fear even comes from. Fear is a baby of love, if you will. So if we can stand in love in our choices and just say, this doesn't feel right for me, and I honor that you feel that I shouldn't make this choice, but I have to trust my inner voice, my heart. And when we do that and we show that, then other people feel like they have permission to do it. And that's what's going to bring the change that we're looking for.
Amen.
Ooh.
Amen.
Let's go.
What a rant. I love it.
Yes.
That's more of a preach than a rant. That was
Indeed.
a preach.
Preach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Preach. Yeah, you're
Spread the
preaching. I
good
love
word.
it.
Yeah.
You're preaching for love, and how
Absolutely.
it's obvious, of course, love.
It is my name. It is my
your
name.
It is. Your
It
name.
is what it is, baby.
But you know, it's funny because more and more people that even the billionaires, even Elon Musk, everybody said, they're saying, you know, love is the answer.
Right.
And I always ask myself, we tried hate so many years. What happens if we try love for 2 years?
Right.
Let's just try it.
Right, let's
if
try
it doesn't
it.
work out, it doesn't work.
We'll
come
put it back on
back,
the shelf.
put it back
No
to
problem.
No problem.
Exactly.
Let's do 2 years. 2 years of just helping out. 2 years of Aloha globally.
Yeah.
Internationally.
Yes.
Everybody. If it doesn't work, okay, we can go back.
Right. I
Yeah.
call it FAFO. Fuck around and find out. Get
That's
a
true.
little FAFO
We
going.
should- well, again, that's in line with your mission, right? We got to share what Aloha is to the world. I feel like, and many people feel like, this is what could save us from self-implosion, self-destruction, and
Yeah.
everything that we're headed towards. And it's a very simple concept.
It
you
really
know?
is.
But you just got to remove ego.
Yeah.
Ego is the big thing you got to remove from most of it, I think.
Yeah.
But if I think, for example, and just an example, you guys, you and your band, you and your crew, you have a lot that you're saying in all your songs.
Yeah.
You criticize the state. You criticize whoever needs to get criticized, let's say it that way. I don't see a lot of other big bands choosing the same approach or dedicating one of their hit songs in criticizing what's going on, whether it's in the community, the government, the state. And I feel there's a little bit of lack, because if you think back in the day, I mean, whether it's Bob Marley, whether it's all the rappers that started back in the day, they all criticized what are they're being given and what they're not been given, who is in the government, you know, who did wrong to them, you know, like there was criticizing what's going on. Right now I feel like everybody's singing about drugs, bitches, parties, money, but like choose your like choose the right words, if I may, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
subject matter.
Everybody's different. You know, we let everybody does their thing, and we do what we do is because we're so deep in the community. That's just like, we hear people talk about community and whatever. Like my boy Mox is in there teaching every day.
Oh, I love him. I was with
You know
him
what I mean?
last night.
No way.
Yeah, I went to him in
TJ's.
gig, yeah, and sang
Yes.
with them.
Bro, Mox is so heavy.
Love
but
them.
hands stay in the dirt so the seeds will grow. That's
Yeah.
one of his lines I love. But it's just who we are as and what we do. You know, when it comes to a lot of other artists, especially locally, it may not be what they do. They may not have
we need everybody's
a desire
help.
to do it.
We need everybody's help, because if everybody would drop one single criticizing, guess what? It would have a bigger movement. It would have a bigger understanding. It would have a bigger... More people would feel it's okay to say something, because you have to understand, when you guys become famous and when you guys become like raised from us, then you have also the responsibility, in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I think you guys do it because you guys are fucking criticizing. Every time something comes out, you criticize. You're singing for us. Every time your words are...
Become our voice.
Yeah, become
Yeah.
our voice,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think like more people should do that. More people should do that, just because it's in a nice way to say we're not blind, fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, but in a nice way, you know.
Yes.
In a groovy way, you know. Fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Not everybody has the freedom. You know, that's
True.
like a lot of them got to chase the bag and keep the bag
There you go.
tight. So you don't
There
want to
you
ruffle
go.
any waves that could
There you
possibly
go.
ruin a bag. Like, I
There
get
you
it.
go.
You
That's
know?
the truth, though.
Yeah.
That's the answer right there.
Yeah.
They're afraid of repercussions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? So they're like, let me stay away. I got to pay my rent.
Yeah, people are in survival mode. When
Yeah.
you're in
So the
survival
fact
mode,
that they were able to put that mechanism
Yep.
on us,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, that's
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how they control
You know what I
exactly
mean?
what the
Gotta
intention is
be
behind
like
it.
Irie, though, you know, and just dip out. Go to freaking...
Everywhere.
Go to another... right? Go to another country.
Wherever
get
the
an
wind
album
blows.
done. Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, you're holding space again, like giving grace to people because they are in survival mode and they are in fear. And those programs are running heavy right now. But I think that we are breaking those walls. And, you know, there are going to be people that are in the arts that are using it and just are fearless. And so I believe that that's our kuleana, our responsibility to show up and continue to hold that line and be that beacon of light, because it ripples out. Again, back to the 100th monkey effect. Like, it does ripple out, because I think sometimes, at least for me and in my experience, it can be like sometimes feeling hopeless, where you're just like, I'm one person, I'm doing one thing. How is it going to change this massive issue, right? But it's actually not true. We're all connected at all times. So me working on myself and doing all this healing and having yahe and bufo and ceremonies and psilocybin and all these different modalities of healing and tapping into higher frequencies and opening wisdom, because I feel like we don't learn anything. We just remember. It's recalling things. It's all in our DNA. And we all hold different keys for each other because we come from different lines. And so it's actually important for us to have different kinds of people in our lives as well. I can't just have a community of people that look like me, that have Hawaiian culture as their foundation, because I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to expand. I'm going to be unlocking the same doors over and over again. I want to unlock new doors. And so how
were you
do I do
always
that?
that spiritual, or that came after the frog?
You love the frog?
I can't stop.
Kermit hooked it up. I know. I gotta
Kermit
know.
hooked it up.
Kermit hooked it up. I gotta know. Well, I'm very interested in what the whole thing
No,
was.
Kermit hooked it up. Legendary.
No, I was always.
What I meant though, are you doing a lot of those treatments where you feel like you can go into a like higher place, where
State of consciousness
where you can really see what's right from wrong and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, I think that my understanding is that we were given all of these plant medicines to help us unlock keys that we would bury down so deeply when we came into these bodies that they would be hard to uncover without this assistance. And so, although they've been demonized, I feel like anything that's demonized in media is because it's actually good for you. And I feel like we're living in the upside down. So everything that the system says, it's actually the opposite, which makes it actually easy to decode, because it's just like, okay, what are they saying? What are they pushing? Okay, so it must be the opposite of that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Period.
Yeah.
This is what not to do.
Don't drink a soda. Don't eat a potato chip.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So I choose to dive into that, and I've kind of always questioned everything. Back to your original question, like when I think the youngest memory I have is when I was in kindergarten, and I grew up with a lot of Christianity, and not to down anyone who has that belief, because I think everyone has their own path and holding space for that. But for me, I just questioned, because there was like some pieces that just didn't connect. Mm-hmm. And I was just like,
Isn't
yes,
it always
but
the case with religion?
For me?
In general.
I believe from my vantage point, yes. There's always, I think that it's based in truth, which is why people get so into it, because it is a lot of truth in there, which is the beautiful parts of it. But again,
I think George Carlin said it the best. It's always 50-50 with God. It's either yes or no. He's right.
True, yeah.
And then everybody said, like, nah, they didn't give me everything I asked for, but it gave me half.
Some.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, continue then.
Right. No, yeah, but I've always questioned everything. And people have always, my family always thinks I'm the crazy one. I'm like the first one who's like an advocate for organic food and, not eating meat, and not just because, meat is bad for you and it's like high cholesterol, but like I look at everything from an energetic and spiritual lens. And so, these animals are being tortured.
100%.
And that energy is going into your body.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that everyone's diet should be the same either, because we're all in totally different bodies. So you're going to need something different than I would. So you have to kind of, again, learn yourself.
Yeah.
Try different things. Like you said, let's try love for 2 years and see how that works out. Like, let me stop eating meat and see how my body feels. Oh, I need meat. So let me go back to meat, but maybe I'll make a better choice where I'm going like farm to table meat instead of going to Walmart and getting, I don't even know what.
Well, there's research on the meat too. Yeah. Like where, like free range meat, like say you catch a deer, you shoot a deer or something, right? Like the cellular compound of that deer, because it lived a happy, free life.
100%.
Very different.
The cells are really good.
Right.
It's you contain
actually
that,
nourishing.
the joy, as opposed to the pain and suffering from a
Factory
farmed
farm.
animal.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have any kind of love for living things, I mean, I'm even down to the point where I believe everything is sentient. So I thank my leaves in my salad for their sacrifice, because I'm just like, I'm going to be intentional. Why not? Why not for me? Why not take that extra step to put intention on everything? I bliss, not bless, because we don't want to be less. We want to bliss our food. Right?
Let's go.
Etymology.
She's bringing some golden nuggets over here.
Indeed. I love gold.
Etymology's real though. That's real.
That's real.
Right?
Yeah, we're heavy into that because of the rap thing, words, right? You play with words all day.
Exactly.
You start realizing what is really being said behind something.
Yeah, and I mean, that is the history of rap, right? Rap was started because they wanted to cast spells to shift the reality through this modality with music, so you can access both sides of the brains, and they're actually sending out codes with these rhymes. And then rhymes, right, locks in the brain. That's why we teach kids in rhymes with certain things, because it will lock in there faster and easier into the mind. And so rap is actually, I mean, it's one of the most powerful tools that we have. And so that is why it's being so bastardized.
Have you ever gone that route? I know you did R&B, but...
I dabble a little bit, and I like to freestyle. I'm not really written rap kind of thing, but yeah, I vibe all the time. I think I'll eventually record something, but it's also just...
I don't know why I can totally see it.
Could you see?
Yeah.
Maybe because, too, I love words, and I love etymology and the meaning behind words, but it's definitely a special gift to be able to put them together the way that you guys do.
Have you heard about the one about house, buying a house? I think, what the fuck was it? Was
the
it
mortgage?
Mortgage? You heard about that?
Mort is mortality.
Yeah, and then what else is in the house?
Mortgage.
It's basically telling you're buying your death when you buy a house, because you're stuck paying for this thing. Yes. Holy cow.
Yeah, and even with money, like banks and currency, it's all about ocean. It's all about, navigation, and all these things are referencing water. It's all coming from the water. And so there's this, I don't know if it's a theory or if it's just a truth, but this whole idea that it's all coming from the water spirits, and that the water spirits granted them this permission to create this whole spell of this system of control, where they get granted to have this power to control the currency, the current, the wave, right? The currency is what runs our existence. We are all frequency. We're all wavelength vibration. And so whoever controls the current controls the existence. And that's where the whole system of money is based, which is why, like we were just saying, why do people choose to make rap that's low vibration? Because they got to make money, because that's the system we're surviving on right now. So a lot of our choices are based off of that one particular control system. So it's not that money is bad, it's the intention and the impact that it's being used for that makes it bad. So if we can acquire that same currency, that same energy and power frequency, and use it with different intention, it's over.
Yeah.
which is why for me, a lot of times I have had these roadblocks where I'm like, I don't want to be rich because I see people that are rich and they're not nice people. And I'm like, I don't want to emulate that, but I need the money to access different things. So it's like this inner conflict that happens.
It's always such a controversial issue
Right?
from one time that you just want to be simple and not
Right.
need the money, but then cost of living, the rent, and
Right.
you need to have another room.
And you have ideas and you want to bring them to manifestation. You can't without money. So I've just decided that I'm
And
alchemizing
travel.
it.
And
Traveling,
travel.
all of it. Helping people. I want my nephew to call me and I'm like, whatever you need, I got you. Like, I think most of us who are led from our hearts want to be that person for people, where it's
Yeah.
just like, I got you. Like the way people are showing up right now for Maui.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if you don't have anything then you can't help. Or so you go and put boots on the ground and we help with our hands. But then how do I get my flight there if I don't have money? So it's like it always comes back to that. So I decided to alchemize that, and that's why I did the plant medicine too, was to just remove all that lack energy from my whole lineage.
Yeah, those are deep seated. All of those
Exactly.
ideas, they're put into you from when you're little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So you got to dig deep in there, and I guess that's the best way to go, or a great way to go, right?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, my parents didn't have a lot of money. My dad was a police officer, and my mom was a
I
nail
thought your
tech.
dad was an NFL player.
My biological father is an NFL player. Yeah.
Okay.
So my stepdad here, who'd raised me since I was 4. So I had 2 dads my whole life, which has been really beautiful. But, they had a fixed income, and I went to Punahou because my whole family went to Punahou. And I got in 7th grade, and all my friends had elevators in their houses and BMWs and different fancy cars that I thought at the time. And being a 12-year-old, we had an old rickety station wagon, and so I'd make my mom drop me off down the street instead of in front of their house because I was embarrassed, And so I got to experience that, what it feels like to be, and it's still not in comparison to the many levels of poverty that people experience. So never to dismiss that, but just from my own experience, to be embarrassed about not having enough money planted a seed in me, right? Where I'm just like, oh, I'm less than. I will never have that kind of money. Those little lack programs. So I'm like, no, I can have whatever I want, whenever I want. I believe in myself. I believe I can alchemize this. I rebuke all those things from my bloodline. If people before me were poor, we don't have to be poor anymore because wealth gives you access. And with access and good intention, you move mountains.
100%.
And that is why I'm here. That is why I exist. To move mountains. I'm not a small person in my physicality, in my voice, in my personality. Nothing about me is small. So why would I operate with limited access? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't align. And so now
that's
I've
why you
opened it
moved
up.
to LA.
No!
To have the world.
LA is a whole other podcast. No way. No. I live in my suitcase, okay?
Yes. On the move.
Exactly. Always on the move. So yeah, I'm ready for the first time, I feel, in my life to kind of step up to this call of just really giving no fucks about what people think about what I do. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to open all the chakras. I think your throat chakra is blue, and I've always had an aversion to the color blue, and I never made the connection. And so now I've been embracing the color blue and trying to have the color blue around me. Colors affect us in our moods, in the way that we have feelings about different things. So it's important too to be mindful of what kind of coloring you put around you. If you want to amplify your heart frequency, you want to have a lot of green around you. So I've always loved green, but now I'm going into all the colors. Being from Hawaii, we're all about the rainbows. And although it's been used a lot for LGBTQ, it's also just a natural thing in the sky that we have here all the time. And so rainbows remind me of Hawaii.
Someone was talking about it the other day that they actually stole our rainbow.
So, you can't steal a rainbow.
Now, when you
Can't
put a
steal.
rainbow, you're like, oh, you're proud. No, just from Hawaii.
I know. Don't change the license plate. I'm all for it.
Go both.
Yeah, they should have left. Yeah, they should have left the rainbow. Huh?
Yeah, the rainbow's for everybody.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
it's a blessing that we have rainbows. That's one of the
That's for
things that
sure.
I think I take for granted personally. My other half loves rainbows, and she's just always in awe when they show up. And then
Yeah.
when people come from the mainland, they're like, "Oh, rainbow," and I'm like, Oh, fucking rain. It's gonna rain. God damn it.
No, go back to their perspective. Yeah.
Just being sarcastic.
Yeah, rainbows are so dope. And we get to see them so much here, which is another sign that this place is magic.
Magic.
I don't know what it is,
Have
but
you ever
it is
seen
magic.
a double one? A double full?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Full double?
Full double.
I have a question. What does it mean? What does it mean?
What does it all mean? That's the thing. That is the human struggle, is we're always trying to give things meaning. And that puts us in agony and suffering.
Yeah.
It really does.
It just
Why does it have
is.
to have a meaning? It just is.
It just is.
Just feel it. Just soak it up.
But that's why they invented God, didn't they? Because we needed meaning.
Yeah. Well,
Why do we have a rainbow? God did it because we were good people.
Yeah.
Why do we have rain?
Right.
to grow, it gave
And whoever
us.
controls the meaning controls the narrative and then controls the purpose and all the things.
Yeah.
So if we just leave it general and leave it open, and it is whatever it is to you.
And nobody can take that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, God can't be singular to me, you know?
No.
There's not a single us.
Yeah.
So why would there be a single one? You know what I mean? Like, it's like that's why I like the Hawaiian ideals of their old gods back in the day.
Yeah.
Where they would just adjust.
Different aspects.
Yeah, okay, this is the wind god. It does this. This is the land god. She does this.
Yeah.
You know, and they made it easy to digest, but
Right.
they all were separated working together.
Right.
And I feel like that's how we should be.
Exactly.
Not singular God where, he's able to run the whole world.
I never thought about
And
that.
I am in that likeness, then I can run a whole world.
Everybody's
It becomes
trying
a
to
very
be
selfish
God.
thing, yeah.
Period.
Instead of trying to be, if there was many gods and it would work in a team, they would try to be on a team.
Yes.
And not to be about me.
Yes, it would be a
Exactly.
society.
I never thought
it would be a
about that.
group effort, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Steezy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Nice breakdown, bro.
it breaks us away from obeying, because there's not one person to obey.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Checks and balances, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The collective.
And then there's also the Kamapua'a god that just always drives me nuts because it reminds me of you know who Kamapua'a is? So that's the guy, I think he fooled around on Pele?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she turned him into a pig. And it's just like, so I always think like Moke Brothers is like Kamapua'a, like, you fool around with your girlfriend and you're all pigs. We're all pigs now together.
Exactly.
Chew.
You better watch it.
Drink
guys.
beer. I'm a pig.
Drive your Tacoma.
Hey.
I love Tacoma.
Do you have one?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a Forerunner. We're in the same family.
Yeah, see, I
Same
aspire to
family.
get
Yoda
a
gang.
Tacoma one
Yoda
day.
gang, bro.
Yoda gang.
So just out of curiosity, so your next album that you want to release,
Yeah.
and you said it's going to be more reggae oriented,
Yes.
but very world inspired. Will it have anything very criticizing, or is it more about love and understanding yourself and everything you preach?
I leave it to bands like Steel Pulse to be the ones to call things out. I feel like my Kuleana, coming from my divine feminine energy, is to be more solution-based. So I'm going to be
Well
speaking on
said.
what we can actually do moving forward and how to empower each other and how to love
Nice.
yourself. So modalities of healing and empowerment and love.
Nice.
Yeah.
Big Mama. Yeah, looking for Big Mama on the stage. Like,
Exactly,
yes.
right. Exactly.
That's exciting. You know, I was, because you didn't, I don't, maybe you're too busy. There was not much of that kind of music coming out of your side for a while.
Yeah.
You know? I think
Yeah.
the last one we played, I fucking loved it too. It was with, was it with that guy? Wasn't it with that guy?
Yeah, I think so. In Another Life?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that vibe was so good. Like,
Right.
we love it in the morning, but then you did the R&B stuff, which it's cool to me,
Right.
but it's not my vibe, you know?
Right,
I was like,
right.
oh, okay, this is cool. This is kind of
Yeah.
sexy. But, you know, like, I need,
That's
like,
not for
I
your
need
morning
this.
show. That's for your night show.
There you go. There you go.
The private night show.
Yeah,
I'm happy to hear that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very stoked.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's it's coming full circle, but also just like finishing the race. Because I always think about that picture of the guy where he's like hacking away in this tunnel and the diamond is just on the other side of the wall, and then he gives up like right before the last crack, right?
Yeah.
And like, I never want to have that in my life. Like, so many people have said it, but it's like, you cannot fail unless you stop, unless you quit, unless you give up. And so I'm just going to continue this thread and continue this journey that I started and see where it takes me, because I feel like I haven't seen yet what I'm capable of doing. And as much as a lot of people might see that as like maybe I'm ungrateful, I live in gratitude. Gratitude is the baseline of my existence. So I'm so grateful for all that I've achieved, but I also feel deep in my soul that I have so much more. And so that is the mission now, is to kind of unveil all these deeper inner knowings that I have that have been cracked open because of all the things, all the work that I've done over the last 5 years to really empower and call in all my power back into myself, and to activate all that I was given by all those who came before me and all the trenches that they went through. Like, who am I to decide that this whole journey has to end right now because I'm just tired and it's hard? Like, I can just hear them in my ear, like, bitch, are you kidding me? Like, do you know what we went through? You better get up. You better get up and do some shit.
Yes.
Like, a lot. And, like, take it to the end.
We gave you the voice, the look, the height. Christ's sakes, the genetics.
Right. Yeah.
You better run this race.
So, I'm on mission. I'm activated.
It's funny that you say that, because every time, I want to work out and I feel like, I'm too tired. I'm also cursing myself. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here. Put your shoes on. You're in Hawaii.
Exactly.
It's not even sunset.
Yeah,
Go
stop feeling
around.
sorry for yourself.
What are you talking about?
Right.
There might be a rainbow, you know?
Double rainbow. In your Tacoma.
Shit.
Are you ready for no sun? There's not going to be sun up there.
Yeah, so I'm preparing for that.
Yeah, because fuck yeah. When I went to England, that was the one thing I was like, oh, wow.
Great. It is.
Yeah. I mean, but again, like I said, I look at my skin right now. I mean, I have been charging in the sun heavily.
Okay.
I'm just in the sun as much as I possibly can be. I don't wear sunscreen, and I'm not a doctor, so don't take any recommendations from me. But the sun charges us.
Yeah,
and
so,
but it takes training. I've been doing this since I was a little girl, so my skin is used to it. My melanin goes, yay, and activates really easily. Some people don't have that, and so take your time. I see people burning. But for me, I know that if I go in charged up like this from the sun, and it's not by coincidence that I'm here right now, and I get to charge up for another month. I'm going to be in Hilo, and it's the driest month of the year, is September. I mean, it's all divinely orchestrated, and I believe that I'm going to go there, and I'm going to have my coats and my boots, and I'm going to be ready to like fucking do work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Any bufo up there?
No bufo there. No. I don't know if I'll visit bufo again.
I'm so interested
That frog
in this.
was
Was there a lot of puking involved at least?
No, not for this one.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not a pukey one. Yeah,
'Cause ayahuasca is a
pukey one,
Yeah,
yeah?
it's very pukey.
Yeah.
No.
And you had a good experience? Did you do ayahuasca?
I did ayahuasca, but I did yahe, which is the male version of the plant, and it comes from Colombia. And it's more aggressive, which I did not know until I was in it. So it was really, really difficult. I was not comfortable.
Scary kind, or?
All night. I don't really get afraid. Yeah. I don't really experience fear anymore. It will come in little tiny bloops, but I don't really I don't embody fear anymore.
Yeah.
So I wasn't afraid. I was just like, almost like regretful throughout the process, where I'm like, I just want this to be over. Why did I fucking do this? It's like when you smoke too much weed and you're like too high.
Oh, yes.
And you're stuck.
Oh,
and you're like,
spinning and you're like,
you just gotta wait it out.
Right?
Right?
Yeah. You gotta ride it
It's
out.
the same thing, but I was like on the floor in the jungle, writhing and just like seeing things and asking to see things and seeing things that were painful and reliving the feeling of different traumas that I've experienced in my childhood that came back up. And I believe that if we call for it, we will re-experience trauma when we're strong enough to feel the emotion so that we can actually go through it instead of hitting it and burying it. Because usually what we do is we hit it and we bury it. We hit it and we bury it. Yeah. And then we bag a lady, right? Carrying around all this stuff. And then if you don't know that it's there, it's actually how you're viewing the world and you don't even realize it. Wow, how
Yes, sir.
appropriate.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe it didn't come.
Preach. I told you guys, right?
The gods have spoken.
Yeah.
The gods have spoken.
I can't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Probably Brett is texting.
We need that. We need that.
Exactly. The tagline, yes. But yeah, you know, just facing your trauma is not something that's easy. It's the most difficult thing that we can do, you know? And so I've just made it my mission to go in because I want to go into all of it. You have to feel it to heal it. And for me, I am a little triggered by the word heal because I've seen it so much in the yoga world, and people are like, I'm on my healing journey and I'm like trying to heal this and I'm healing right now so I can't show up for you. And it's just like, actually healing is just being human. That's what we're doing the entire time.
Yep.
Right? We're hurting and we're healing, and we're hurting and we're healing, and we're hurting other people and we're healing. And that's just a part of the experience. So for me, it's just like, I want to go into my traumas and I want to collect the power that was there for me to source that has been dormant. And that's how I look at it. The pain is actually where the power comes from. So let me go into it. Let me feel it all. And then once you go through something, right, with anything, then you realize, oh, I can go through it now. The next time you meet it, it's not fearful, or you don't feel intimidated, or you're ready, whatever the case may be, you're stronger. And so now that's you acquiring the power from the pain. And that is kind of how I've been living my life now. It's like pain, struggle. I'm like hiking. I'm not going to take water. Yeah, I might pass out, but guess what? I'm going to dial into my breath. I'm going to dial into my heart rate. I'm going to pause when my body tells me to pause. Yesterday, most people maybe might not have made it, but I went in the peak heat yesterday. There's no cover. I brought no water. I didn't properly hydrate before, which was kind of a mistake, but I was struggling. And I'm like, no, bitch, finish the whole thing. I was like, maybe we should turn around. My ego, maybe we should turn around. This isn't safe. Nobody knows you're here. You should probably turn. And my spirit was like, bitch, we got this. Do you know who you come from?
Yes.
I know your father.
Legendary.
Let's
Indeed.
go.
It's that Mufasa energy, baby. All day. And everybody has access to that. I'm not special. Everybody has access to that. It's just how much nurturing do you have that helps you to remember that you have that. And so I try to be a catalyst for other people to find that in themselves.
I think the way you talk, the way you speak, the way you preach, you're definitely making sure others can find it in themselves. It's very inspiring.
Thank you.
To see you. You're full of you're a ball of fire.
Yeah.
So I want to do shots of fireball right now.
Maybe not.
But anyways, we have about 10 more minutes because Mr. Steezy over here is busy, man.
Yeah, well, I gotta
Appointments.
go to Waipahu, yeah.
Yo, you're going to drive to Waipahu at 3 o'clock.
Yes, I have no choice.
You get there by 5, ba?
4, can I? I have an appointment at 4.
I think you'll make it because
Yeah.
Wipe was like halfway.
Yeah. Yeah, halfway through. It's like, yeah, I know.
You get him.
Shit.
You get him.
It's all
You
good.
get him.
You get him.
Yeah. I gotta do an, friend wedding or something.
Oh, nice.
So let me ask you this. So when you sing, isn't that healing by itself for you to perform?
For
Do
me,
you like to perform, to stand on a stage?
Yeah. So my favorite part about what I do is being on stage and performing. I mean, I don't need a stage. Also, I can be on the ground.
Yeah.
Just
And
need a
you'll
mic.
yeah.
Sometimes not even that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to. Yeah. Because what happens is, I become a channel. I just become like a conduit. And there's been literal times where I'm like outside of my body watching myself perform, and I get like startled a little bit, and I come back into my body where I'm like, was I just out of my body? But I'm still singing the song.
Yeah.
Crazy. But so yeah, I feel like I'm the most connected to my purpose. I feel like I'm doing what I was made to do. And I feel like I have the strongest impact, the grandest impact when I am performing.
So was your healing actually the reason you didn't come out with anything new in the past few years?
Yeah, exactly.
You just needed to heal from, was it specifically from the marriage and the partnership, or was it something, multiple things that came to a place where you just had to do it for yourself?
I think it was layers. I think The door? Oh. I think my soul was calling for me to make a change that I wasn't willing to see because things were kind of going. And from the outside perspective, I had a perfect life. You know, I had a handsome, successful husband who has a British accent. I had a music career, and it was pretty successful for, you know, decades. And I come from a loving family, and you know, from the out, there was nothing. I needed a catalyst. And the divorce was the catalyst that my soul needed to do all the other work and all the other unraveling that ended up happening by me losing that. And so my first initial decision was to move away, because here I cannot not be Irie Love. I couldn't not be her. The character that people had created for me to be, right? Not who I truly am. So I had to leave that, and I went, and I didn't tell people I was a singer. I was just a girl from Hawaii that's in fitness. And so I got to kind of start over again and learn who I actually am.
And this is when you started doing yoga and stuff like that?
Exactly. Yeah. Teaching spin, because I loved riding bikes, and then I loved curating playlists, and that's what you could do as an instructor. So I'm like, I'm going to play shit that I want to rock to. And then I'm like sweating out all my pain, and it's a dance class too. So I'm moving my body. And then the yoga helped me to go deeper on the inside and the spiritual aspect of it, and learning like herstory and like what modalities indigenous tribes were using to heal themselves, so that I could collect those and now be able to share them with people. So now stepping back into music, I'm like, I don't even feel like I need to defend myself anymore or act in a certain way, because I've conditioned myself to show up as exactly who the fuck I am. Every moment, in every space, in everything that I do. And authenticity is the baseline for everything for me.
100%.
So that's been why I also have a culture advisor who's one of my best friends, and she's, you know, Kanaka Maui, and also comes from a really powerful Hawaiian family, and her studies and her PhD is all in Hawaiian studies. So she's just like a well of knowledge. And so I keep her close to me in my heart and my telepathy. We communicate in that way, and then she's actually physically with me whenever she can. And I had this opportunity to go to Kalapana on Big Island, which is still sovereign land, and go to the Wednesday market. And I was just thinking it was like, you know, I'm from Kailua, so I'm like, oh, farmer's market.
no.
It was not a farmer's market. It was this immersive cultural experience, and they're like, you have to go up and sing with the uncles. And I'm like, I don't want to, like, I'm such a, like, if there's something, a vibe going, I don't want to be like, I'm here, I want to be a part of it, I'm a singer. Like, that's just not my vibe.
But that's not the Hawaiian. That's not Hawaiian style.
Right. They're like, no, everybody does that when they come here.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So that's why I have a cultural advisor, because she tells me what is pono, right?
It's crazy. Every time we have a big group at the gallery performing, suddenly I'm looking at the story. I'm like, oh, the guy, oh, Rebel Soldiers, oh, this guy, oh, Tunes, oh, this
like
guy.
Like popped up.
Yeah, everybody's on, oh, Josh Totofi, oh, what the hell?
Exactly. But that's
nobody's
how we do
in
it
the stealing the show.
Right.
It's more in the, oh, you get one stage, or people are listening. Let's jam.
Yeah.
Let's jam. Let's have fun. Let's connect.
Exactly.
Let's put the music out there. Let's everybody have fun.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was really beautiful to have that experience, and to just like also see that, you know, even though I took that long break, there's still an appreciation for all the seeds that I planted over, you know, since 1999 when I started singing professionally. Like, people still remember what I do and remember me, and, you know, I'm changing my hair all the time. And so I'm like, how are they still doing it to me? And they're like, there's not a lot of girls that look like you out here. I'm like, really? But yeah, it's just, the whole thing is with music now, being able to show up after doing all of that stuff and taking that long break, I'm showing up in a different way and with a different, again, lens. So my perspective is so much more grounded and so much more rooted in mission, rather than like what's going to be popular and what's going to get on the radio and what's going to make me, quote unquote, successful. Because me seeing that and the way that they received me in that night, I already am successful, and I always have been, you know? The money will ebb and flow. The notoriety will ebb and flow. But the way that you touch people's hearts, they remember that forever. Forever. And then they will tell people about you. And so when your name is in people's stories, because of the impact that you had. That's what I'm about. That's why I'm doing what I do. Everything else is extra, and everything else will come. And as community, I literally don't have to have $1 in my pocket. And I know I'm still going to eat, and I'm still going to travel, and I'm still going to have places to stay because I love on people, and so they love on me back.
Amen.
Yes.
Another one.
Woo! Woo!
Wow.
Another
Another one. We said no rent. We said preach.
Preach, girl, preach.
And with that positive note, we will have to end our session today. And I can't tell you how amazing it was to have you with us, and what an amazing energy you bring to the table. You're really inspiring, and I can't wait to hear your album. I can't wait to see what's your next move. I can't wait to see what that energy, that ball of fire, I'm going to produce. And we're big fans.
Thank you.
Yes. Super
Thanks for
stoked
having
you
me.
took some time to come out. I know you got a couple things going on. You got I don't even know if this is going to go up in time, but you guys are doing the relief concert, right, on Friday?
Yeah, the Kukua for Maui on Friday at the Republic.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah,
shout out to the Republic. When is it? Give them the date.
Friday the 18th. I think I take the stage at like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So
Right.
The Hawaii's finest guys.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
solid guys, bro. I mean, if we could ever get Paulele to say something, it would be great to have him on here.
Yeah.
Paulele,
Yeah.
frick, I know you're one low key guy and no like
Get him
talking.
on, yeah.
Come talk, you fricka. I don't know what angle for talk to him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, he's done a lot of great stuff for the community. So
I only hear good stuff about
Yeah.
him, so I can't wait.
And he don't like no attention for it. That's the other thing.
No.
That's probably why you don't like come on here.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
We'll get him in the end. Well, thank you again so much. It was a
Yes.
great pleasure.
Thank you.
Steezy, I love you, my brother.
Love you too, bro. Thank you.
Mahalo nui.
Shit.